Always beating, enthusing, never cheesing or choosing. 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 Homestar! Beating, enthusing, never cheesing or choosing. Always beating, enthusing, never cheesing or choosing. Always beating, enthusing, never cheesing or choosing. Always beating, enthusing, never cheesing. Homestar! Beating, choosing, never cheesing, choosing. Oh, beating, choosing, never cheesing.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to The Stick. It's everyone's favorite Homestar Runner podcast. I am your host, David, a.k.a. Old Man Rub.
And I'm your host, Eden, a.k.a. Ronaldo. I'm trying to sneak around, but I'm tummy thick, and the clap of my ass cheeks keeps alerting the guards.
And I'm Jordan, a.k.a. Steak Styles.
Hey, Jordan, how's it going?
It's good. I've been playing some James.
Some video James?
I love to play the videoed James.
It was only a matter of time until The Stick had an episode by gamers for gamers.
If you're not a gamer, keep scrolling. This isn't for you.
Yeah, don't at us. We're gaming. So homestarrunner.com, the website, has had some pretty good games over the course of its existence, and it's kind of a thing that not a whole lot of other Flash properties, I guess, at the time really did. Was turn, here's an in-joke from this one cartoon, and we're gonna engineer an entire game out of it.
Yeah, there's I'm just not to get too much into specifics yet, but I'm just looking right now at the menu of the different games that they've got, and almost half of these were just joke games. You see a character playing at one for 1 second. I'm always impressed by the amount of effort that they put into these sorts of things.
I don't know.
I think they had somebody who was a dedicated game developer, like a Flash game developer, who did a lot of these for them.
I don't know about you, but I remember when I was a kid and the Strong Bad Email video games came out, and then he made up a bunch of funny games, and then at the end of the video, it just linked to the games and you could play them. It was freaking crazy. I was like, what? They were just new games.
Yeah, and they just suddenly all appeared on the games menu within the next week.
It was awesome.
What games? What were the ones that they had on the from the email video games in particular?
It was Secret Collect, Rhino Feeder. Hold on, I got this. Thy Dungeon Man 2, I think. One of the Thy Dungeon Mans. The first one. There was the one with Your Head Explode, which I can't remember the name of.
Strong Bad Zone,
and I think I'm forgetting one, but I can't remember what it is. If I'm forgetting one.
I think it was just those four.
Those four? Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah.
Damn.
So the beginning of it all, I think, was... and I'm not sure if this was the first games menu, but the first one that existed when I started going to the website was the handheld LCD games menu.
Yeah.
And I think by that time there was already a couple that they had gotten rid of, like the CNC, and a couple of other ones.
Yeah, those I don't even really think of those as games. They were activities, fun-tivities.
Yeah, they were really tivity-tacular.
Dancing Bubs. They had the Light Bright. There was
there
was that one that you could get the secret Easter egg Strong Bad menu by clicking the right.
The Strong Bad Talker?
What was that called? The Strong Bad Talker, that's right.
Yeah. What, by making him say that,
But Homestar can win the stupid competition.
Yeah.
How do I remember that? Jeez! What is wrong with me?
And the hairstyle runner, which became a thing that I think the brothers got a little bit annoyed with because people just kept sending them screenshots of their hairstyle runner creations.
When I was looking at the, because I know they did a reference to that in their comeback episode from I think a year or two back, where they had the They had like the most recent update to the hairstyle runner since 2005 or something to that effect.
Oh my god!
And they're just showing pictures of like one where it's Homestar's hair is a bald eagle, and one where Homestar's hair is the letter P, and he's like losing his mind laughing to a sort of degree that I'm pretty sure the Brothers Chaps were just like trying to not so subtly be like, please stop sending us these, they're not funny.
You know what's weird is I'm on the HR wiki looking at some of the Vidalectrix games specifically. There's games on here that I've never heard of before because they just like they did a lot of things, but some of the things they didn't archive their games very well. There's some that are only accessible through certain tunes or on the Vidalectrix websites. Like I've never heard of Trogdor's 3D Ungin before, or Limousine's Hot Babelian Odyssey. I've never heard of these.
I have not.
Yeah,
these are real playable games.
There's some real deep lore behind a lot of these, I think. And the fact that you have to both know that the Vidalectrix website exists and then go to it and like dig through to find it.
What is your favorite game, if you had to pick one?
For me, I'd probably have to say Peasant's Quest, just because that's the one that I played the most.
Peasant's Quest is my white whale. I never beat it. I never ever beat it. I could never figure out how to get to the top of that stupid mountain.
It was kind of difficult.
It was hard. It's like King's Quest hard.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of the point.
Can't remember which Dungeon Man it was, but basically any of the Dungeon Mans were my favorite, just because I've always appreciated the really stupid sense of humor that they have.
Dungeon Man's pretty fun. I was this morning. I was playing Duck Guardian. That's like a pretty good game. That's a pretty fun one, actually.
Yeah,
it's like really
Duck Guardian
simple, but...
is like almost a Lemmings type game.
Yeah, I would play more of Duck Guardians if someone had like made it into an arcade machine or something.
Yeah, you shoot the ducks with like a death ray or something that makes them do different things depending on which one you choose.
It's pretty fun.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the page right now for Trogdor's 3D Ungin, and in like both of the screenshots, it's like impossible to tell what's going on. It just looks ugly as sin.
It's so bad looking. Also, you've got your 3D Trogdor and then the same like shitty peasant sprite that they use in everything else.
Yeah, it's just a flat peasant sprite being burninated by a low poly Trogdor.
I do enjoy what the beefy arm looks like on this Trogdor model. It's just...
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what I'm looking at.
It seems like they didn't fully get a grasp on... I mean, Trogdor is not a very good shape in 2D. I feel like when you try to translate the dragon to 3D, things get a little bit wacky.
You need like a lot of more differenter S's to get it into the third dimension.
Yeah, and... the arm does not translate when it's coming out of Trogdor's back. Really upsetting to look at, actually.
So do we want to talk about the background of Vidalectrix?
Honestly,
I don't think I actually know it.
Yeah, because Vidalectrix is from before I started like really getting into Homestar Runner, because it looks like they stopped updating the website around like 2009, which it's a little bit after I would have gotten in, but still pretty close to around when I would have started.
It's been 10 years, but maybe they'll make a comeback. Who knows?
I don't think that it started as... I don't think they had a website for it initially. I think just the first couple games where it was more like the 8-bit style, like the Trogdor game and Awesome Cross, they just came up with a logo to display as the game was starting, and then eventually it became more of an actual entity within the universe. And then I think the first time I really got the sense that it had become its own kind of joke was the live-action preview video for Peasant's Quest. Because at the end, there's a Easter egg where you can click on something and you get you get two Videlectrix employees standing in front of a whiteboard that says, "Good graphics." And one is like angrily pointing at it, and the other one is like dejectedly staring at his shoes. And I'm pretty sure they're both Matt Chapman in a mustache wearing different shirts.
There's another one on the wiki that is those two mustachioed men looking at just an extremely old computer running a Peasant's Quest, and it just says, "Good graphics are a must."
What did I say? What did I tell you to do? To make good graphics. Good graphics! I come to work and I have to look at this mess!
I love the fact that, well, as far as I can tell, Videlectrix is like an American game company. The games are riddled with spelling and grammar errors, and
Yeah.
I've never really understood why, but I love it deeply.
Yeah.
Just all the terrible English that is found in these games.
I'm sure that's like a reference to the fact that a lot of these games maybe had like really small development teams as well as like really small like localization teams. So and you know, like a really fast turnaround time that they had to get these games out to market.
Because I noticed that like they have a reference to the old Punch Out, "A winner is you" kind of thing.
A winner is you.
In a lot of,
Yeah.
I think that's from Punch Out, right? "The winner is you."
Yeah, maybe. Maybe.
They have that sort of reference in. Is it in the SB zone where they have if you finish that it is "The winner is you"? Because I'm pretty sure that whole game is supposed to be kind of an import of a sort of like Japanese game or something like that. They're kind of doing a spoof on something like that.
I'm not sure you can finish Strong Bad Zone.
They definitely did that with Stinko Man, because that's supposed to be Mega Man.
Yeah,
And
Stinko
there's
Man
tons
20XD6.
I hate Stinko Man 20XD6. I was playing it the other day. That game sucks. I hate it. It makes me so mad. It's not fun.
Somehow Mega Man is easier than that game.
Yeah, for sure. It's like the hitboxes are so terrible. Like
Yeah.
not to act like, oh, this game based on a internet in-joke for a Flash website isn't very fun, but it's not very fun.
It's like it's exceedingly hard is the thing. Like I've tried to get through it multiple times, and even now, like going back to it, I still can't get past the first level.
I can't either. It's so hard. Maybe it'll be easier once they add that final level this year.
According to the wiki, the levels are titled "Go Home," "Pick a Bone," "Dumb Wall," "Fisticuff," "Oh, the Moon," "Stratosphere," "Ice to Meet You," "Negatory," and "Turbulence."
I wouldn't have known that because I never got past Go Home.
You did not go home.
I didn't go home. I'm still here.
Yep. There's a number of games, like we were saying, that you can only get to from the Videlectrix website. And a lot of these are not necessarily great games to play, but I think that they're just great experiences in their own just because of, the joke that is that game.
Like, Where's an Egg?
Yeah.
I mean, like,
Where's an Egg is, I think, my favorite joke game on the website.
I will say though, I do think there's one like extremely fun and very playable game on the website, and that's Super Kingio Bros. Extremely workable game that they have on.
It's very playable.
All the very playable games. I feel like, the Videlectrix website has. I mean, the best one is 50K Race Walker. Let's
talk about
obvious.
50K Race Walker for a second.
The predecessor to QWOP, I think.
Did it come out? It did come out before QWOP.
It did come out
man.
before QWOP.
Yeah, because QWOP came out when I was in college, and yeah, this would have been high school, I think, still when 50K came out.
I watched a video the other day of someone beating it. I'm assuming they used like a computer script or something to just get it to press the buttons for them, but there is an end to the game, and if you win, you get in third place no matter what. Which I think is the greatest joke of all time.
Yeah, so the premise of 50K Race Walker is that you are in a race, but you can only walk. You cannot run, or you'll be disqualified. You'll get a fault, and you have to press your left leg and right leg buttons alternately, but not too fast.
Don't go too fast.
And it's styled like an old Atari game, and the music was actually, and I only knew this because I used to play with this tool sometimes when I started making chip music. There's a homebrew cartridge called the Synth Cart for the Atari 2600, and they made the theme music for this game with that. So I used to like sit and play with that and just pretend that I was the person who made this music because I could make the exact same music on my own Atari.
My favorite thing about 50K Racewalker is once you get to 1,000 meters or 1K, the game is just like, what? It like doesn't expect you to get all the way there, so it has to like make the rest of the game for you. You like hit the end of the screen, and then it's just like, we didn't expect anyone to play this long, and then it makes the rest of the game so you can keep going, and that's 1/49th of the way or 1/50th of the way there.
But I think my favorite thing about 50K Racewalker is that its slogan, according to the Videolectrics website, is left, right, 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 right. Oops, you lose. Alternate left, right for about 5 hours without messing up, and you could win the golds.
I feel like lots of people stream, Desert Bus and those kinds of games that take a long time for fun. No one has streamed 50K Racewalkers as far as I can tell, and I think that they're cowards for not beating that game on a stream. Where's H-Bomber Guy when you need him?
I was going to say the Stick charity stream where we just stream 50K Racewalker until we win.
It would take so long.
That would be pretty epic, I gotta say.
It's 200,000 steps to win.
And it says, for every white line you pass on the track, you have traveled 0.01 kilometers. There are 40 successful steps required between each white line and 50 kilometers to walk. This means you'll have to travel 200,000.
It really, like, I played it this weekend. It is a soul-crushing experience. Like, just playing, even to get to that first white line, you'll get so many faults where you press too fast, and then when you get to the 0.01 and you just realize how many more of those you have to do, you just want it to end. It sucks so bad. It's the least gratifying game I've ever seen. It sucks.
After a while, I figured out like the loop that you have to do to actually play the original QWOP like semi decently. You have to like hold down W and O alternately with Q and P. But I feel like there's no good way to play this game.
What's your opinion on Pigs on Head?
It's just the LCD version that's playable, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
And I think there was like an email or something where you see Strong Bad playing the like original quote unquote version, which is more like a Nintendo or Atari game. But I think, yeah, Pigs on Head is pretty similar in gameplay quality to any of the old Nintendo Game & Watch games.
It's hard. It's hard as fuck, but it's fun. I like Pigs on Head.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of the Fire Game & Watch game, which is like people jumping out of a window of a building that's on fire, and you have to bounce them to the ambulance across the screen.
That's the Brawl level, right? Or the Brawl level.
I think it's in.
Yeah, I don't remember which flat zone is in Brawl because I never played Super Smash Bros. Brawl. That's the one that I missed.
That's the one that got away.
Yeah.
I just like to also put a new installment into the segment I'm starting just now on the show, which is thanks HR Wiki. Here on the inside references page for Pigs on Head, one of the two inside references is Hank and Frank are both smoking cigars. Is that an inside?
I like the characters.
The Homestar Runner.
Sure.
They're just.
I like the fact that the three characters of the game are Hank, Frank, and Page Boy. It's that classic subversion of expectations.
Yeah. Did either of you ever play Hall Runner?
I played it this morning. I don't really get it. It doesn't seem like there's a game to it. It just seems like a sort of an art piece.
It is kind of, yeah.
You just,
and I do like that the wiki has the entire matrix of everything that could possibly happen to you in this game on it.
For anyone who hasn't played it, you're running down a hall. Sometimes you have to dodge like geometric shapes as they fly past you, and if they hit you, you lose a ton of points. And then it just says you come across a blank, and then you can fight it, talk to it, or jump it. And there's no indication of which one's the right one. And and it's just like, and then it just changes your score. And there's no end, I don't think. There's no point to the whole game. You just sort of keep going.
I don't think it tells you what it is when you come across an obstacle. You figure out what it is when you react to it.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, it just says you come across an obstacle. What do you do? And then once you do it, it's just like, oh, it was this. So you can't even if you knew everything, you couldn't do it. You couldn't win.
Across an obstacle, and one of my favorite one is when you jump it. It was some social injustice. Sure. Pretend like it doesn't exist.
I like the one where it says if you jump it and it says it was a home stereo system. You jump around, jump up, and get down, and then you get 2 points for that.
I think I made my dad play this once like 10 years ago, and he had about the same reaction as you did, Jordan.
Can you have a different reaction to Hall Runner?
I don't know. Like he is like a classic, 80s gamer, so I figured maybe he would appreciate it.
It's real gamers only.
Real gamers only. The OG gamers who are playing Doom and others.
Doom and is this Doom?
I think that this is Doom. I wonder if there's a Homestar Runner Doom WOD out there.
Sure there is.
There is a really... And I didn't realize that it was so famous, but there's like a really well-known Simpsons reskin of Doom.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
Like the normal zombie ambient noise is replaced with Chief Wiggum saying, "This will scare the pants off you." So, you're running around the level and you just every couple of seconds hear, "This will scare the pants off you. This will scare the pants off you."
Right.
Well, there is a page on Doom in the Homestar Runner wiki.
Oh, good.
I mean, well, Pom Pom cosplayed the Kappa Demon one time in a Halloween.
Oh, right.
It wasn't really a cosplay, but...
I think, I know that just slightly off topic, there's apparently a Doom mod that you can play on the screen of an electric hair straightener, where if you die, in the game, the hair straightener heats up.
That rules.
So you want to die a few times in order to get it to work.
To get it to work. Yeah.
If you want to have a functional hair straightener, you have to play Doom for like about 20 minutes.
I know that you can run Doom on anything, but can you run Hall Runner on anything? Science is still out on that one.
The technology is probably there, but I don't think anyone will want to take advantage of it.
You can download the
I wonder why.
File. Yeah. I mean, Flash is dying, but you can make anything run Flash, I think.
I'm kind of amazed that they're going to preserve all these games. Like,
yeah.
I guess that they put enough work into it that it kind of justifies finding a way to keep these games alive after Flash goes away.
They hired...
Yeah, I imagine they're going to have to effectively reprogram all of them.
I'm thinking about people in 2019, the year 2019, reprogramming games like Where's an Egg, and that just makes me smile a lot. You could be playing, Spider-Man or something really cool on their PS4, or you could play this hot new game called Where's an Egg?
Do you think that somebody's going to reprogram Bronco trolleys?
I think so. Oh my god, Bronco trolleys.
We talked about Bronco trolleys on the food episode. But
yeah, I was there.
Yeah.
Cracker, peanut butter, orange peel.
Yeah, everyone's allergic to it. But I think Bronco trolleys was the first one that I figured out how to kind of cheat at. because like if you clicked really really fast, like more than one of the next thing would show up.
Yeah. Well programmed, a well crafted.
Usually the game loop of it is you click on the Triscuit, then you click on the orange, then you click on the peanut butter. But if you like triple click on the Triscuit, like 3 oranges show up.
I mean, I'm pretty sure most of the games on the website are pretty broken, to say the least. Like, they don't work the way.
Oh my god. I forgot about Duck Pond.
Peasant's Quest is actually really, really solidly programmed for a Flash game, I've found.
It's true. Peasant's
Like,
Quest.
there's not much of a way to break it.
Do you think there's a Peasant's Quest speedrun?
You know, maybe.
I mean, I guess the only way to do it fast is probably to just know how it's done.
Peasant's Quest
Yeah.
speedrun. Yep, there's Peasant's Quest speedrun. World record, 1 minute and 6 seconds.
Okay, I guess that game was fundamentally broken. I guess you can probably get to the end screen really easily.
Yeah, I guess so.
Oh,
Never mind.
The timer on the screen is counting frames according to the YouTube description here. There's another one that got it done. Well,
I'll have to check that out.
seems like there's a couple of people who beat it in just over a minute. I mean, people, every single one says world record. And like there's like 4 different times on the first 4 results. 106 seconds, 107.
I think if you play it the way that it's supposed to be played, and you know all the things to do, it's probably about an hour long.
It's a pretty hefty game, Peasant's Quest.
Yeah.
But I feel like the most of the length really is just like, how are you supposed to know to do any of the things in the game?
It's like
Yeah.
deliberately oblique, to say the least.
I mean, I tried to share a cold one with the Kamek, but it didn't work.
Yeah, I feel like some of the stuff you knew to do from the preview for the game.
Yeah.
Like throwing the baby into the lake.
Or wearing the mask in front of Gary.
Yeah. When you get the mask, it says, "Wow, this mask could scare a horse." For no reason. Until you come across a horse.
Cool. Yeah, there isn't really much logic to Peasant's Quest, except, you know, you gotta get your clothes, you gotta get the stink, and you gotta catch on fire.
Yeah.
Oh, here.
I legitimately
like a
don't know how
peasant.
that game ends. Do you win? Do you beat Trogdor?
So one of the questions that we got this week is whether any of us have ever beaten Peasant's Quest, and I have. And spoilers for this game, which is now 15 years old, but yeah, Trogdor just roasts you into charcoal at the end.
That rules.
The game congratulates you. Good job on winning everything. And, and then just ends.
Yeah.
Okay, by the way,
It's
Very
like,
good.
No one can ever beat Trogdor, but you got further than anyone ever has.
You got 2 Trogdor.
Yeah.
I'm here on the
And
the YouTube page for that guy's Peasant's Quest World Record speed run, 1 minute and 6 seconds. And he says, I start by activating a glitch called the Carrick glitch, which was found by JRS Dude. It is activated by hitting enter on the same frame that the Carrick death animation starts. This allows me to move around invisibly while the animation plays. Then when I leave the screen, it cancels my death, removes all collision in the game, but the text box to show up will kill me. So I walk off the map and then make my way all the way to the second room where the guy will ask me a multiple choice question. There's a 44% chance that the answer will be C, so I say that. I die no matter what after that, but if I answer the question correctly, he will give me the Trog sword, which will increase my score and will auto-save the game. So when I die, I just load the auto-save and beat the game normally.
The Trog
Simple.
sword is you get into the room with Trogdor and the scale of the screen changes and you become like 2 pixels tall and he fills like the entire screen. And you enter the command to throw the sword at him and it just kind of is like a tiny line flying across the screen and just sticks into him and goes boink.
Very good.
Yeah.
I never, is that a Trogdor board game out yet? Wonder how that is. Looks pretty fun, actually.
I backed that, actually, and it hasn't arrived yet, but I'm pretty sure they're getting close to finishing production on it.
Cool.
I did not shell out for the like $10,000
The
Wormwood.
$10,000. My issue is that game looks really fun, but I don't feel like I could ever recruit anyone to play it. I would just be like, hey, there was this like series of Flash cartoons on the internet in like the early 2000s, and this is like 3 in-jokes in. This is like 3 jokes deep. Can you learn this board game with me so we can play it? I don't think anyone would really bite that one.
Yeah, no.
Most of my board gaming friends are between the ages of my age and like 45, so I feel like most of them would probably at least know what it is.
Fair enough.
Like this from the Peasant's Quest wiki page, there's some they have the trivia for the different like text commands you can bring up. And one of them says, looking at the rocking chair after the baby leaves will get you a message saying, one of those self-rocking kinds, not bad for a brown collar peasant type. Must be trickle down in action.
Nice.
Reaganomics.
I like the text that just says, after saying Haldo to Dongalev, it says, the archer stops arching, even though you can still hear and see him firing arrows in the background.
We didn't feel like programming him actually stopping this.
It's really, I mean, there must be graphics or whatever.
Good graphics.
If you talk to the Blue Knight after acquiring the belt, he calls you Matthew Broderick, a popular actor.
Oh, okay. I was wondering who Matthew Broderick was. I'm surprised there's not a page for Matthew Broderick on the HR wiki.
Well, it redirects you to the regular Wikipedia page for Matthew Broderick.
Oh, okay.
And
I'll give you that.
Apparently, this is a reference to the 1985 movie Lady Hawk, in which Matthew Broderick plays a peasant who climbs through a sewer at one point.
There's not to get too off topic about specifically Vidalectrix games, but I'm remembering now that there's a number of like the earlier Strong Bad emails which have their own mini games like as Easter eggs at the end. And I think we talked about one of these already, which was the Homestar Runner and Marzipan Extra Real Dating Sim XR.
Oh no! Duh.
Yeah.
Strong Bad is on point.
This is at the end of the email where I think the person asked, have you ever seen Homestar Runner and or what happens when Homestar Runner and Marzipan go on a date? And so Strong Bad has set up a security camera in that marshmallow place they always go to, and that's where we get the. Is this also where we get Sid Hoffman?
And Sid Frenchman. Yeah, you can play that game too.
Okay, so which one am I?
It's just
what am I
coin
going to
toss.
say?
I'm gonna say Sid Hoffman this time.
Sid Hoffman. Ding.
Yes, awesome.
Are they real people, by any chance?
Sid Hoffman,
No.
I think, was a hockey player.
I don't think Sid Frenchman is a real person. Hold on. No.
No, Homestar Runner's Sid game is the first result for searching Sid Hoffman. So
I think that means they win. I want to go on a road trip with someone and play that game with them the whole time.
yeah, it would be more interesting than playing like the red car game.
Or like the alphabet with the signs game.
Yeah.
You know what was a game that always bugged me when I watched The Short as a kid? Was Sunday Drive-In, which, if you remember correctly, was the one that Strong Bad plays on the green screen that he paints the wall with. But it's like you play as a Sunday, right? And you have to pick up cherries and stuff. But you lose the game when you hit a gigantic like jar of walnuts. And as a kid, I was always like, that walnut's the size of the road. Can't get around that. This game's rigged. But it was never one that you could actually play, so I guess it doesn't really matter.
Yep.
I have an entire
But the pixels were as big as hams.
another page an entire page on the Homestar Runner wiki for Homestar Runner's Sid game.
I wonder if there's a speedrun for the Sid game.
It definitely deserves its own page.
It does. It's a whole can of worms.
So to cheat,
Now-
click both buttons in either order after the question. A point will be awarded regardless of which answer Homestar gives. Clicking the correct button after Homestar says the last name will also win a point.
One of the one of the first ones that I remember being playable as an Easter egg after the email was over was the like duck pond simulator.
Oh god, is that the one with the lures and jigs? Or is that something else? No, I think
this is just one this is just one where you have a hand and you're throwing bread at ducks and getting score every time they eat the bread.
Oh, I didn't realize So I didn't realize this, but it has originally, if 20 points were earned in Homestar Runner's Sid game, Homestar would move his wealth quickly with no sound, and the game would display reward. The game would then display an image of Strong Bad at the Compy 386, displaying the letter M.
I like how they're like, well, someone's going to play this game long enough, so we might as well throw in something that happens in it.
I definitely did not have that kind of attention span back when these came out.
Apparently that was removed like a long time ago anyways.
I wonder why.
That said, I did used to be very good at Population Tire.
I suck at Population Tire. Once again,
the idea of Population Tire is just that you're trying to keep the tire in the air for as long as possible by bouncing it on your mouse cursor.
Yeah. There's also Oxum Cross is the other one that is tire involved.
Yeah,
and that one's also really hard.
That one's actually based on an email, I think.
Oh, is it? Huh.
Yeah, there's I think it was about how Strong Bad supposedly has a great voice for doing monster truck commercial voiceovers.
Yeah,
I believe it.
Was it the one where it's like Sunday, Monday, or something like that? I can't remember.
Sunday, someday.
Oh yeah, that's the one.
It's Awesome Cross 98.
Oh yeah, I think I remember that now.
Like, see the cheat jump over a cardboard box covered in syrup.
I was playing Secret Collect this week in preparation for this podcast, and that's another game that I like. I was like, I wonder if there's an end to this game. I'm sure there is, but I couldn't get past a level because I just didn't feel like I had enough time to do it. Now I'm very curious to see how many levels there even were in that game.
I do remember getting as far in that game as to get to a level where the electric walls just spell out the word "yeah" with an exclamation
Apparently
point.
There's 16 levels, and if you get to level 16 and beat it, it just makes you do level 16 again. And it just goes on forever.
That is pretty similar to Atari 2600 games.
Yeah.
Like,
not the
best
console.
A lot of them you could only play with 2 players, because it would be like one screen and you were trying to, get to the other side of the screen before the other person. Like, Maze Craze was one of those.
Do you remember that they turned Secret Collect into a cartoon?
Oh, I don't know about that. Collect. Because isn't the red?
And there was about that much. Cartoon time for the Thy Dungeon Man cartoon as well.
Oh right, that was
which was the word Dennis chasing after the word Ye Flask.
Get back here! The very proud generation of 1980s video games being turned into extremely unrelated cartoons that had very little to do with what the game was actually about.
I showed somebody a clip of the old Pac-Man TV show recently, and they were just completely blown away by how stupid it was.
Remember that one?
I don't know. Have either of you ever watched the Super Mario Bros. Super Show?
Yes.
I think it was on Netflix at some point, so I tuned into a couple episodes, and I was just like, I can't believe this is real. I can't believe that people watched this on the television.
My favorite moment is still remember kids, don't do drugs, because if you do drugs, you go to hell before you die.
This is unrelated, but I have a theory that if you ever play the Paper Mario series of video games, the Mario you're playing as is, even though the sprite is voiced by Charles Martinet, the personality is Captain Lou Albano. Because, I was playing it the other day, and there's just a part where he's just like, "No way, bub!" And I'm like, that's not something that Mario would say, unless it's the Super Mario Bros. Super Show Mario. That is absolutely something that he would say.
He's like
And that's my
the Mario
theory.
characters on the Super Show are like weirdly like again like Mario's like surly and antagonistic on that show.
Yeah.
Despite that not being his character like anywhere else.
Well, I think
No.
that's because the Super Show came out before Martinet was even around.
That's true.
Yeah, and they have like New Jersey accents.
Yeah. they're like canonically from Brooklyn. It rules.
Yeah. I didn't know about that show until I saw the Neil Cicerega animutation for Do the Mario. The swing your arms from side to side.
What do we think about the games menu? Because I remember when they added that, the like shoot 'em up, the shmup menu. That was a pretty
Yeah.
cool thing that they added, and I'm glad it's still around. And like the fact that there were little Easter eggs, you could change your cursor into different characters. That was some
yeah.
good stuff back then.
The pill would fall
Yeah.
down and you could pick up like one that would change you into the cheat and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, there were all the 20xd6 versions of all the characters. So that was also, I don't know if we've ever seen 20xd6 Coach Z outside of this one menu.
That's
think.
true. I'm not sure we have.
Or like
But,
try to train Stinko Man for a challenge, like
I like the fact that Stinko Man, his ship it looks like Strong Bad's head, but it is Stinko Man piloting it.
The pills falling down and changing you into a different ship, I think might be like a reference either to some shoot 'em up game that I've never played, or it could be Arkanoid.
It's Arkanoid, according to the wiki.
Okay, yeah, because in Arkanoid it was like a breakout game, except I'm pretty sure you actually were playing as a ship. Because you could get power ups like being able to shoot the blocks from your paddle and everything.
And as we all know, the way that you power up a ship is by making it take a pill.
yeah.
Yeah,
Logic.
so jot that down, kids.
I will say though, if because obviously 20xd6 is supposed to be an anime, if Coach Z was an anime character, he would definitely be that one extremely problematic anime character that like every series seems to need to have for some reason.
Yeah, he'd be your like Mineta. I don't like that. I don't like to think about Coach Z being horny. That's not a character trait he usually has.
He's Coach 8.
No, he's just usually very, very uncomfortable.
He's just unsanitary.
Yeah.
I'd like to apologize to my co-host Marzipan for any that's really the only.
Oh, that's right. He did. Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm kind of
Hated that.
glad that I forgot about that until just now.
Yeah. Doesn't that line in particular doesn't really hold up in 2019 times.
No.
C is canceled.
Coach Z, I think, was never really on. He's always been canceled.
You need to do an episode on just Homestar Runner things that we wish we could all forget about.
There is
It's the problematic
The call out
parts.
post episode.
this is a call out post for Coach Z.
Can we talk about PCP? No,
No,
not
no.
today.
Don't.
Not
That's
never.
I'll just pretend that didn't happen.
I think we
Just-
did.
That's true. We did. I think
I really wish I could forget PCP.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm kind of surprised they never like gamified, actually, because they gamified a lot of things, but they never made a game out of Teen Girl Squad, and I feel like they could have done a good one based on like paper drawn line art. I don't know.
It would have been a
about
good. It would have been a good game to, I think, see like what the sickest trick that you could do was while you were in the air, jumping into the lion's mouth.
That would be what it'd be, like a skateboarding game in 2D, but you just have to jump. You have to like, you could get arrowed in the air, or you can land in a lion's mouth.
You can land a perfect double whipless mochaccino half calf.
You could do a 360 shove it to boneless, a trick that I don't think makes sense if my knowledge of Tony Hawk games is anything.
Yeah, I don't know what any of that stuff means. I mean, I know that you shove it and boneless are real skateboard tricks. I just don't know if there's anything beyond that, because I only know those two and then Christ Air.
Christ Air's the best trick of all.
I don't remember I don't remember which skateboarder it was, but I saw a couple years ago, I think, a video of somebody actually doing that.
Doing a Christ Air.
Yeah.
Skateboarding is cool when people like don't do it in the bike lane or in front of my car, and like do it in a controlled space where they can do a trick. You ever see a person land a skateboard trick? I'm always like, good job. You did it. Not in front of my car, though. Please.
There's not a whole lot of people skateboarding in Minnesota.
No.
Outside of, like, skate parks.
Okay, so I Googled Christ Air, and I'm on the Wikipedia page for it now. And for some reason, instead of like a human being doing Christ Air being the photo on Wikipedia, it's just a picture of Mickey Mouse in front of the Japanese Imperial battle flag.
What? I'm looking at it right now. What the fuck? Why?
I don't know.
No one's ever done it in real life.
Yeah, like no, but it like in the article they specifically reference 3 individuals who have done the Christ Air who they could have used. But instead, they have a picture of Mickey Mouse doing the Christ Air in front of the Japanese Imperial battle flag.
That rules. That's the coolest Mickey Mouse I've ever seen. That's a Mickey Mouse that's ready to fight.
I am now very... This page was last edited in 2016, so this has been like the accepted picture of this trick for over 2 years now.
I love how off-topic Christ Air gets people. Can't stop thinking about Christ Air.
The Tony Hawk games had a lot of questionable decisions in them as well. Like how Tony Hawk 4 they hired I think it was Jenna Jameson, the porn star, to voice an unlockable character who was just, skate girl with tube top, effectively.
Nice. I see that and I say, nice. This is for me gamers.
Yeah.
I just remember they put Shrek in, and they put Iron Man in, and then I think they also let you play as Gene Simmons from Kiss at some point.
What was that tweet that one like Chud put where it was like breast culture or whatever?
Boner culture, for the sake of boner culture.
Yeah.
That's one thing that the Homestar Runner games never had, was they never had anything to cater to the boners of gamer guys, and I really appreciate that.
Yeah, no.
There's never like a scene
they
of like
mostly just stuck to stupid jokes.
There was no Marzipan fan service ever.
Sorry.
Gotta find out what's under there. What's going on down there, Marzipan?
Don't like to imagine it.
I always thought Marzipan was just like shaped like that's just like what she looks like.
And she's just a broom.
But now I'm thinking, like, is Marzipan just like a stick with just some legs down there and then in a ugh.
She can carry things the same way that Homestar can.
Jeez, these characters, you don't want to think about them too much, or it gets a little Lovecraftian, I think.
She has an anti-grav field surrounding her face.
I know she does play, she does, like, she wears, like, big combat boots, if I recall, from the Kickball episode.
Oh, yeah, she does.
But they're not connected to legs.
So she has legs.
No, they're not connected to legs, and the boot just comes out, and you can see that it's...
Is Marzipan a Rayman situation?
I think she's
down there?
I think she's just a stick with like floating
with just floating. That's not that bad. Hey, do you remember Clapping Party?
Yeah.
I don't remember Clapping Party.
Clapping Party was the game that Homestar was allowed to play in the Slumber Party episode. And I'm assuming the way the game works is that you just press the action button on your joystick and it just claps, and that's the whole game.
And so those games are off limits. We're only allowed to play Clapping Party. But
the thing I remember about the other thing I remember about Marzipan's anatomy is from the In Search of the Yellow Dello cartoon, because she slaps Homestar in the face and there's actually like a hand outline left on his face. Ooh. And in the commentary it says Marzipan has really nice hands.
That rules.
I mean, honestly, like, this is like in slight left but I'm like, this is gonna sound like somewhat weird, but I remember watching the sleepover episode from like on the website and thinking like back then when I was younger, like, yeah, this is good commentary on like how it is when you go to a sleepover or whatever. And I still don't understand why, like, at any point, I don't know, like, I remember watching like Homestar Runner cartoons, especially like the Strong Bad emails, and like reading way more into them than I probably should have, or like not probably should have, but like way more into them than actually was like present that they were probably thinking about when they were doing them.
I mean, my experience watching them was that when I was a kid, I took Strong Bad very seriously, and only going back, I was like, oh, this guy's supposed to be like the world's biggest loser.
Oh yeah,
this guy has no friends, and all he does is sit on his old computer. But as a kid, I was like, yeah, Strong Bad's awesome. I agree with everything he says. I wonder if that was kind of the point, if you think about it. But Eden, are you saying that when you went to slumber parties, you were playing Bad Axe?
No, I mean, like, no, what I mean is, like, when I was watching it, like, I used to try to, and this is definitely why I didn't have any friends in elementary school, I used to, like, watch Strong Bad emails and be like, oh, so that's how you're supposed to behave at, like, social things. And
yeah, that,
you know, like,
maybe not the best person to take advice from.
Because I thought when I was watching it, I was like, I was seeing like these things that I wasn't involved in. I'm like, oh, so that's why I'm not doing the etiquette, right? And I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I knew like you're not supposed to play like Bad Axe. Like, I wasn't like an idiot.
I know, I was just joking.
But like, you know, the general sort of like approach to the world that Strong Bad had, I was like, I'm gonna emulate that, and then no one liked me.
So I said my favorite game was Peasant's Quest. Did either of you say which one is your favorite?
I said Duck Guardian just because I was playing that this morning and it was really something I enjoyed. But I'm trying to think back on what game really resonated with me as a young lad.
It was definitely Thy Dungeon Man for me, like my number one favorite.
Dungeon Man is pretty good. I also remember playing a lot of oh god, what is that game called? Hold on. I'm going into my Sherlock Holmes mind palace for a minute because for some reason it's not on the website.
Thy Dungeon Man 1 was the one with no graphics. Thy Dungeon Man 2 was the one with thy graphics.
It had thy graphics.
And it was rheumasotic gameplay.
Do you enjoy that, like, your options are north, south, east, and Dennis?
Yeah.
Just talk to this guy named Dennis, and it's necessary to beat the game.
You know what game I played a lot of as a kid? I don't know if this was my favorite, but I played a lot of the old Trogdor game, not the Peasant's Quest, but the one where you just sort of walk around burninating. That one was pretty fun.
Peasants.
Squishing peasants and I think that was probably my favorite because I liked the like sprite of the squished peasant.
Yeah.
It made me feel big and powerful as a kid.
And the noise it made when you stepped on them just kind of blam.
And I also liked when you start the game up and it just went Trogador. That's good stuff.
Yeah, I always enjoyed that you can hear like Strong Bad's commentary like in the background as you're playing.
Yeah.
Does that mean that
this
you're like
the best game I've ever played?
Does that mean that when you're playing the Trogdor game, you're playing as Strong Bad playing the Trogdor game?
That's what I think is supposed to be happening, yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. We didn't talk at all about Strong Bad's cool game for attractive people.
Is that made by Vidalectrics, like, in canon? Because, I mean, it's made by Telltale, rest in peace.
I think in canon it's made by Telltale, as far as I recall.
It says on the wiki, the game was produced in full collaboration with the Brothers Chaps and Vidalectrics with Matt, Mike, and Missy Palmer.
This isn't Vidalectrics voices the Brothers Chaps, though?
Yeah, I guess so.
Like it was pretty...
I played all of them. They were actually pretty fun. They were pretty fun games. I think that Strong Bad's cool game for attractive people was when we finally got Danger-esque 3 was in that game. So, if you were waiting, it's out. It's there, you just have to play it.
Wasn't like Danger-esque 3 like was in the game, wasn't it like deliberately like short and kind of like unsatisfying as far as I recall?
Probably.
Just because of the typical sort of Homestar joke of deliberately like making people wait an extended period of time for something and then just purposefully not fulfilling what they were going to say they were going to do.
I wonder if these games are even available anymore, because, I mean, the Wii Shop is dead forever.
Yeah.
Telltale's gone. Do you think you can even play these games anymore?
I don't know.
Hold on.
They were released for PC, WiiWare, Mac, and PlayStation Network.
Oh, they're on Steam.
Yeah.
I might replay these. These are pretty funny.
I had the money to buy Steam games right now, I would definitely buy those and play them.
The thing I really enjoyed about Strong Bad's Cool Game for Attractive People was that it had to like make sense of the geography of the universe, which they never had to do in the cartoons. So like you had to walk to places, and you'd be like, okay, I guess this is where the concession stand is, and then if you go to the right, then you get to Strong Badia, and that was kind of a weird thing that they never had to do in the cartoons.
It's like when the actual house from The Simpsons got built.
Did they do that?
Yeah, it got
Why?
built, and it was like a giveaway. Like you could enter a contest to win that house.
Did you want it? Because like the house on The Simpsons is canonically like shabby.
I mean, it's a 2-story house. It's got a kitchen and I don't know. I mean, it's like Frank Grimes said. He called it a mansion.
Yeah, that's true.
It's all a matter of perspective.
The person who came into ownership of it immediately like repainted it normal colors.
I mean, yeah.
That's fair.
I mean, the inside of the house is a bright pink, and I feel like that would be extremely maddening to live inside.
I'm glad the person who bought it didn't buy it for like goofs and just like
Just needed a house.
yeah, and they just had it as a home now. Like I'm sincerely glad there's not some like extremely weird dude who just lives in the Simpsons house.
It's just the comic book guy, IRL.
Yeah.
The WiiWare Strong Bad game reminds me of the fact that the website did actually have a Wii games menu on it for a bit because the Wii internet browser was Flash compatible.
You're right.
So
oh
you could
my
play
god!
So you could play these games on your Wii as well.
That is
through the
so
browser.
weird. That is
It's
super
weird to think
weird.
about that now.
None of
there
those
was a
things
console
can be.
that was Flash compatible.
You could go to Newgrounds on the Wii, and that's pretty weird.
Yeah.
Thinking back on it.
Yeah, and you could go to YouTube on it because YouTube used to run on Flash.
Wow, YouTube used to run on Flash. Man, Flash, we hardly knew you. I'm sad that Flash is going away. That's like my entire childhood is based in Flash.
Yeah.
Good times.
Should we get into questions? We have a couple left that aren't about me beating Peasant's Quest. So the first one is from my co-host Matt from Tuning Fork, Future Sushi in the Discord, who says, "How often do you find yourself think a phrase, your head explode?"
All the time. It pops into my head sometimes, like I'll just be like, oh yeah, your head explode. Me too.
Yeah. That was just the thing that got said by Strong Bad's head when you die in Strong Bad Zone.
Your head explode isn't really like it's not as much of like a, and forgive me for using the terminology, like a really a cellar door for me, but like it definitely is still something that I think about like it's one of the ones I think about more often.
It's a classic.
Mike Dawson, who hosted the Teen Girl Squad episode with us, asks, "What's inside ye flask?"
There's something in the flask. It's just the flask. Don't ask about the inside of the flask.
You can't get.
You can't even get it.
If you could get it, you'd try to open it, and you wouldn't be able to get it.
You can't get the flask, so why even think about the contents of the flask?
We saw Dennis chasing after ye flask in the cartoon, therefore it's canonically something that will get away from you every time.
Every time.
I was trying to think of a way to sort of factor in the cursed words about the flask, but I can't.
No. Unacceptable.
It's probably super mud.
It's super mud. It's or it's butter da is in the flask.
Yeah, ye flask is no hush-a-bush push, Leopold.
Okay, so I was playing the Race Walker, and I think the game is definitely broken because I just came in third place and I pressed the button 3 times.
What? Hold on, excuse me? How do you do that?
I don't know, but I did something wrong because I just speed ran 50K Race Walker.
Huh.
You have to submit
It's like
that.
just-
You have to stream this and
like
then submit
just
it
now?
to Twin Galaxies.
I literally just hit left, right, and he goes, "You came in third place."
Oh no.
I'm genuinely
That is
confused as to how this happened.
congratulations. You're the live on air world record.
I just beat.
50K Race
I
Walker.
just I beat it by accident. There we go. I'm almost certain that it's just because the Flash games, like, they're all pretty broken.
Yeah.
At least they all have like one compromising glitch somewhere in them.
Apparently a 50K race walk is a real Olympic event.
Hey, you have to walk. You can't run.
The world record for the actual Olympic race walk is 3 hours 36 minutes. 53 minutes. Or sorry, 3 hours 36 minutes 53 seconds.
Did you know?
That sounds like a riveting event to watch.
To watch people walk fast for almost 4 hours.
Yeah.
Did you know that in 50K Race Walker, when you're doing the building your style thing, that if you build a particular style, it'll like give you a name, like a name of a character from the show.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like you
That's
can
fun.
build Gary Palarancini, Dr. J, Luke Schnester, Wilt Chamberlain, and Bruce Lee.
Huh. Neat.
And our last question is from Shout with a P, who asks, "When's the final Stinko Man level coming?"
This year, apparently.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing something about that. Was it advertised on the Strong Bad Twitter?
I think so. I think they said that they were going to add the last level. After 14 years. It says, and a further announcement coming on December 28th, very recently, just a few months ago, that said that they would in 2019 put up the last level of Stinko Man.
Now I have to wonder, is it going to be in Flash, or are they not bothering with that anymore?
They're gonna release it in an actual physical cartridge that runs on the the Nintendo, the NES. That's what I meant to say.
That's actually kind of awesome.
Oh wait, that was a joke. I'm sorry. That wasn't real.
Oh,
Oh,
you got
I'm
my
sorry.
hopes up.
I mean, hey, people do crazy things all the time. Maybe if you played it on an NES cartridge, it would make the game more fun.
That does remind me, though, the guy who made that Atari synth cart, which they used for the music for 50K Race Walker, I'm going to see if I can find the page for it, but for a while he was working on a Homestar Runner RPG for the Atari 2600,
Huh.
and actually working with the Brothers Chaps on it.
I'm assuming this is a long abandoned project.
Yeah.
Dang. Would have been
The
fun.
most recent demo ROM is from 2003.
Wow.
Yeah, this website looks like it was most recently from 2003.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I've seen Tumblrs that look kind of like this.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I figured out what the thing was with 50K Race Walker. The game's just broken. It doesn't work anymore.
How do you do it? How do you do it?
Oh,
I
you-
played it earlier. It worked just fine.
Yeah, but you just got to go from one white line to the other white line, and now the game ends.
Really?
It doesn't go
Oh, that's
super
a-
long like it used to. That's as far as I
That's
can
a
tell
bummer.
anyway.
Maybe they'll fix it when they take it out of Flash.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking is just because the website's being retooled. A lot of the stuff probably doesn't work the way it used to. Just honestly, genuinely a little bit sad.
That is a little sad. We can never do that charity stream. You play the whole game.
Not until it gets re-released as a not Flash game.
Not until it gets the HD remaster for the PS5.
Can you imagine like it's the same mechanics except it's released in I don't know, 4K HD or whatever the.
It's an FMV
Unreal
game.
Engine.
Yeah, it's really Unreal.
Oh god. An
I wanna
FMV
see-
game with a
I wanna see-
cutscene for each
yeah.
step.
It's just a person. It's like a not super highlight, whatever that FMV highlight game is. Virtual highlight, that's what it's called. It's just like 3 pictures of a real man walking forever.
Oh my god! It becomes directed by David Cage, and so every step is a QuickTime event.
And then at the end, it says at the end, when you get to the end, it says like you did it, but who were the real monsters? And then in the credits it says the monsters. You freed the monsters, and it's very deep. It's a very
50K
deep.
become Race Walker.
The race in Race Walker is short for racism, and you solve it by walking in the 50K.
And everyone has really weird looking teeth.
Honestly, though, knowing the way David Cage makes games, I'm pretty sure the 50K race walk, like, he would make it deliberately an allegory to, like, the March on Selma or something.
Oh god, it would be like
extremely like uncomfortable to play. But
the more you walk it, people join in, and then when you get to the end, it just says like, "But who was the real race walker?" and then a picture of Martin Luther King pops on the screen.
And everyone thinks it's very deep, and it wins all the game awards.
But don't forget that when you get to the halfway point, there's a scene where like Ellen Page takes a shower, and she didn't want it in the game, but he put it in there anyway.
Good job, David Cage.
Deep games, David Cage. What I'm trying to say is that the Brothers Chaps are infinitely better than David Cage at making good video games.
It's kind of a crossover with my other podcast, but David Cage is kind of the Wayne Coyne of video games.
Yeah, I just feel like I'm trying to find a way to work in like a joke about the Jason glitch from Heavy Rain into this, but just imagine that I made a good joke about that and didn't just explain that that's what I was trying to do and sort of factor that in when you're listening to the podcast.
The whole game, anytime you press X, it just goes, "Come on, get in the boat, fish." There you go. There's the joke.
Thanks for helping me out there.
We got it. We did it.
We did it in one. So, are we ready to wrap up, Eden?
If that's the last of the questions, I think so. I still haven't eaten anything today, so should probably...
Yeah, all I've done today is expend too much energy snow blowing my driveway and not eating anything.
Basically same for me here today.
I finally got up and played 50K Race Walker. What have you done with your day?
I recorded a good podcast.
That's true. What was it called? Thanks for having me on again, by the way.
No problem. All right, and that brings us to the end of another wonderful episode of The Stick. Thank you, Jordan, for coming and being a guest on here again today.
Thanks for having me on. I always love to talk about the funny games.
Games of Homestar Runner. We'd like to thank Hyper Chicken for use of their song "Always Beezing and Doozing" as the title for this, and we'd also like to thank Summer Geist for giving us the wonderful title, wonderful cover art that we use for the podcast. With all that said, thank you for listening to The Stick, and as always, buy all our play sets and toys.
Buy all our play sets and toys.
Weekdays at 4:30.